Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all back. I hope you all are doing well, and today I'm going to teach you about fraction. So, students, let's start with what is fraction. So, a fraction is a part of something, or you can say it is a part of a whole. So, students, as you can see here, a whole circle is divided into two halves, and one half part is colored with red. So, the red part is 1 out of 2 halves, which is equals to 1 upon 2. So, what does it means by 1 upon 2? So, student, let me tell you, the top number tells us how many parts are there in the fraction, which is the colored part, and this is known as the numerator. And the bottom part of the fraction tells us how many parts of the whole is made up of, which is the denominator. Now, students, let's see the fraction as part of a whole. So here you can see four circles are given, and first one is the whole circle, while the other three are divided into some equal parts. So second is divided into two parts and one part is colored, so the fraction of colored part is 1 upon 2 or 1 half. Similarly, the third circle is divided into four parts and one part is colored, so the fraction is 1 upon 4 or 1/4. Similarly, the last circle is divided into four parts, but here three parts are colored, so the fraction is 3 upon 4, or you can say 3/4. Now, students, what is fractional number and the fractions? The numbers such as 1/2, 2/3, 1/4, 3/4, etc. are known as fractional numbers, and their symbols like 1 upon 2, 2 upon 3, 1 upon 4, 3 upon 4, etc. are known as the fraction. Fraction on the number line. Students, we have already learned how to represent whole numbers on the number line. Let us now see how to represent fraction on the number line. So first, draw a line and mark O on it. Mark a point A at the unit distance from it. O represent 0 and A represent 1 as shown below. Now divide the number line into equal pieces. See with some example. Divide OA into equal number of pieces shown in denominator and then count the number of the pieces shown in the numerator, which you have to take. Here the fraction is 7 upon 8. So 7 is the numerator and 8 is the denominator. So you have to draw 8 pieces on the number line and mark at 7th piece on the number line. This shows the fraction of 7 upon 8. Now, equivalent fraction. Students, in each of the given rectangle, the fraction represented by the blue colored portion. So, for first figure, the fraction is 1 upon 2. For second, the fraction is 2 upon 4. For third, the fraction is 3 upon 6. And for fourth, the fraction is 4 upon 8. And the last, fifth figure, the fraction is 5 upon 10. Here, each fraction shows the half part of the whole rectangle. So, 1 upon 2, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 6, 4 upon 8, 5 upon 10 are all equivalent fraction. Thus, we can say fractions that shows the same part of a whole is called the equivalent fraction. Therefore, 1 upon 2 is equals to 2 upon 4 is equals to 3 upon 6 is equals to 4 upon 8 and is equals to 5 upon 10, etc. So, for obtaining equivalent fraction of a given fraction, we have to multiply numerator and denominator of the fraction by the same number to get the equivalent fraction. For example, find the equivalent fraction of 3 upon 4. So first I have multiplied numerator and denominator both by 2. So 3 multiplied 2 is equals to 6 and 4 multiplied 2 is equals to 8. Again, I have multiplied 3 upon 4 into 5 in both numerator and denominator. So we get 3 multiplied 5 is equals to 15 and 4 multiplied 5 is equals to 20. Now, again I have multiplied numerator and denominator by 7. So we get 21 upon 28. Now, last I have multiplied 3 upon 4 into 8. So we get 24 upon 32. So the final equivalent fractions of 3 upon 4 are 6 upon 8, 15 upon 20, 21 upon 28, 24 upon 32. So here you can see these all are equivalent to 3 upon 4. Here student, one more thing. You can multiply with the consecutive numbers like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 also to get the equivalent fraction. Now, you can also find the equivalent fraction by dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number to create equivalent fraction. So here you can see in this example 8 upon 20, which is equals to 8 upon 20 divided by 1. So in place of 1 we can write 4 upon 4. So after dividing we get 8 divided by 4 is equals to 2 and 20 divided by 4 is equals to 5, which means when we divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, so we get the simplest form of the equivalent fraction. Now, how can you find equivalent fraction? So, equivalent fraction can be found by multiplying or dividing both the numerator and denominator by the same number. When the same numerator and denominator in the fraction, it always equals. When you multiply or divide a number by 1, you will get the same number. So, as long as we multiply or divide both the top and the bottom, means the numerator and the denominator of the fraction by the same number, it's just the same as the multiplying or dividing by 1, and we won't change the value of the fraction. Hope you understood the equivalent fraction. Now, let's find whether two fractions are equivalent or not. So, let's see in a first example 2 upon 5 and 4 upon 10. So here we have to cross multiply with the numerator of the first fraction to the denominator of the second fraction, and again the numerator of the second fraction to the denominator of the first fraction. After multiplying 2 into 10 we get 20 and 4 into 4 is equals to 20. So here you can see both the products are equal. Therefore, 2 upon 5 and 4 upon 10 are equivalent fraction. Now see in this second example, 4 upon 7 and 8 upon 21. Again we have to do the cross multiplication of numerator of first fraction to the denominator of the second fraction and numerator of the second fraction to the denominator of the first fraction. So after multiplying 4 into 21 we get 84 and 7 into 8 is equals to 56. Here you can see both the products are not same. That therefore 4 upon 7 and 8 upon 21 are not equivalent fraction. Remember, after cross multiplying, if both the products are equal, then they are equivalent fraction. If both the products are not equal, then they are not equivalent fraction. Now, comparison of fraction having same denominator. So when we compare the fraction with the same denominator, we have to just compare the numerators. And the greater fraction is the fraction with the larger numerator. You can see in this example, 5 upon 8 and 7 upon 8. We have to just compare the numerator whose numerator is greater. So we can say 7 upon 8 is greater fraction. Now in order from least to greater, you can see here one example is given. So 2 upon 10 is the least fraction and 5 upon 10 is greater than 2 upon 10 and 9 upon 10 is greatest from all of them. Means you have to just compare the numerator whose numerator is smaller, that is smallest fraction, and whose numerator is greater, that is the greatest fraction. Now, comparison of fraction with same numerator. So when you compare a fraction with the same numerator, you have to just compare the denominators. And the greater fraction is the fraction with the smaller denominator. Here, you have to remember this. For comparing the fraction with same numerator, you have to compare the denominator. Okay, students, now see whose denominator is smaller, that is the greater fraction, and whose denominator is greater, that is the smallest fraction. So take a look at the example 3 upon 4 and 3 upon 8. In both of them, numerators are equal, but denominators are different, and we have to compare the denominators only. So you see whose denominator is smaller, that fraction is the greater fraction. So 3 upon 4 has smaller denominator, that's why 3 upon 4 is the greater fraction. Now, for ordering the fraction with the same numerator, you have to compare the denominator whose denominator is the greatest, that is the smallest fraction. And here, see 4 upon 10 has the greatest denominator, that's why it is the least fraction. And after that, next is 4 upon 8 and then 4 upon 6, because 4 upon 6 has the smallest denominator, that's why it is the greatest fraction. Now, like fraction and unlike fraction. So first we see what is like fraction. So fraction with the same denominator are called like fraction. And what is unlike fraction? So the fraction with different denominators are called unlike fraction. Students, you have to remember this. For like fraction and unlike fraction, you have to just see the denominators. It only depends on denominator, not on numerator. So see here in this example, for like fraction, you have to see in this example, 3 figures are given. In first one, the fraction is 1 upon 4. In second one, 2 upon 4. In third one, 3 upon 4. Here you see all the denominators are same, but the numerators are different. So for like fraction, we have to see only the denominators. If all the denominators are same, then the fractions are like fractions. Now, for the unlike fraction, here you see the examples are given. 3 figures again. In first one, there is 1 upon 2, and second one, 2 upon 3, and third one, 3 upon 4. Here you can see the denominators are different in their fractions. So we have to just see the denominator for unlike fraction. If all the denominators are different, so the fractions are unlike fraction. Addition and subtraction of the like fraction means the fraction having same denominator. Now let's see how we add 3 upon 5 and 1 upon 5. So for adding the like fraction, we just have to add the numerators and keep the denominator as common. That is 3 upon 5 plus 1 upon 5 is equals to, here you have to add the numerators 3 plus 1 and keep the denominator as common. So 5 is common in both, so we take 5 only. Now add 3 plus 1, so it is 4, and 5 again you have to write. So the answer is 4 upon 5. We can show this calculation in a diagram. Here in first figure you can see there is 5 parts, and out of 5, 3 parts are shaded. And in second figure there are 5 parts again, but only one part is shaded. So which means after adding both 3 out of 5 and 1 out of 5, you get 4 out of 5. Thus, here you can say sum of two or more like fractions is equals to sum of the numerators upon common denominator. And this is the formula for adding the like fraction. Now, let's see how we subtract 3 upon 8 from 7 upon 8. So, subtract the numerators only and keep the denominator as common. It is similar as the addition, but just we have to subtract the numerators instead of adding. That is 7 upon 8 minus 3 upon 8. And again we have to subtract the numerator only. So 7 minus 3 is 4 upon 8 as common. Now here you can do the simplest form for this 4 upon 8 because it is equivalent to 1 upon 2. If you divide both numerator and denominator by 4, so you get 1 upon 2. We can show this calculation in the diagram also. So here see, in first figure 8 parts are given, and out of 8, 7 parts are colored, and you have to subtract this from the second figure, which is given as 8 parts in total, and out of 8, 3 parts are colored. So when you subtract both of them, so you get 4 parts out of 8. As you can see, 4 upon 8 is equivalent to 1 upon 2. That's why here the figure shows the fraction for 1 upon 2. Thus, you can say difference between two like fraction is equals to difference between numerators upon common denominator. Now, fraction as division. If we take the expression 9 divided by 10, we can write it as the fraction 9 upon 10. So, you can say 9 divided by 10 is equals to 9 upon 10. Means fraction is also known as the division. So, can you write each expressions as a fraction? Here, 3 division expressions are given: 1 divided by 3, 3 divided by 6, and 2 divided by 7. And you have to write the fraction for these division expressions. Now, what is unit fraction? A unit fraction is a fraction with the numerator equal to 1. Examples: 1 upon 9, 1 upon 4, 1 upon 17, 1 upon 2, 1 upon 134, 1 upon 10. Here you can see all the fractions are having 1 as the numerator. So from here you can see all the fractions are having 1 in the numerator. That's why it is called unit fraction. In general, a unit fraction has a form 1 upon n, and n is the natural number. You can write any natural number like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on in place of n. Now, what are proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed fraction? So first, proper fraction. So proper fraction is a fraction whose numerator is smaller than the denominator. You can see in this example 1 upon 2, 3 upon 4, 5 upon 6, 11 upon 20, 21 upon 25. All of these, the numerator is smaller than the denominator. That's why these are called the proper fraction. You can see in this figure also. Now, improper fraction. So improper fraction is a fraction whose numerator is equal or greater than the denominator. So you can see in this example 3 upon 2, 7 upon 4, 6 upon 5, 15 upon 11 or 10 upon 10. So in all of them you can see numerator is greater than denominator and the last one has numerator equal to the denominator. That's why these are called improper fraction. You can see in this figure, here the figure shows 8 upon 6. If you count all the parts, you get 8 part colored and both circle having 6 parts in them. That's why it is 8 upon 6. Now mixed fraction. So mixed fraction is the fraction consists of a whole number and a proper number. Means it is a number of two fractions. So whole number is, so the examples of mixed fraction is 1 whole, 1 upon 2, 2 whole, 3 upon 4, 5 whole, 5 upon 6. Which means in this figure you can see two circles are given and both having 6 parts in them. And out of them, one is fully colored and the second one is having 2 parts out of 6. That's why we can say 1 whole and 2 out of 6. Now, conversion of improper fraction into mixed fraction. So for this we have to follow these steps. So first step is note down the improper fraction. Second step, divide the numerator by the denominator and get the quotient and remainder. Now the third step is the quotient will be the whole number and the remainder will be the numerator of the proper fraction. Therefore, you can see the formula is given. So mixed fraction is equals to quotient as whole number and remainder as the numerator upon the denominator. And denominator is the number from which you are dividing the numerator. So for example, to write the improper fraction 23 upon 7 as a mixed fraction, we divide 23 by 7 and get 3 as the quotient and 2 as the remainder. So the mixed fraction is equals to 3 whole 2 upon 7. You can understand this more clearly with this example. So here 7 upon 3 is an improper fraction and after dividing this, so we get 2 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. So we write in the mixed fraction 2 as a whole number and 1 which is the remainder you have to write as the numerator and 3 is the divisor which is also a denominator, so you have to write as the denominator. Which means in mixed fraction the denominator is same as the improper fraction. See here figure also given for this improper and mixed fraction. So first you have to take all 7 part of 1 upon 3. So you can say first 3 parts become 1 whole and second 3 parts become the second whole, and after that 1 part is left, so which is 1 upon 3. So you can say in mixed fraction there are 2 whole parts and 1 part is left as 1 upon 3. Now the conversion of mixed fraction into improper fraction. So for this also you have to follow these steps. So first, note the mixed fraction, that is 2 whole 1 upon 4 and multiply the whole number by the denominator of the proper fraction. In this case, it is 2 multiplied by 4 is equals to 8. The third step is to the product, add the numerator of the proper fraction. Here it is 1. So 8 plus 1 is equals to 9. Hence, 2 whole 1 upon 4 is equals to 2 multiplied by 4, then plus 1 upon the denominator, which is 4, is equals to 8 plus 1 upon 4, and at the end the answer is 9 out of 4 or 9 upon 4. So here the formula is given for improper fraction. You have to multiply whole number by the denominator and add the numerator upon denominator. Now see this in this example, you understood more clearly. So here the mixed fraction is given as 2 whole 3 upon 4. Here in this example, it is clearly shown which number you have to multiply and which number you have to add. So here's you can see 4 you have to multiply by the whole number, which is 2, and then after you have to add with the numerator, which is 3. So here see 4 multiplied by 2, then add 3, and you have to take the denominator as common, which is same as the mixed fraction. Now after solving 4 into 2, you get 8, and then add 3, which is the numerator, upon 4. Now after adding 8 and 3, you get 11 upon 4. So this is the final answer, which is in improper fraction. Here you can see 2 whole 3 upon 4 is given in this picture. So for finding the improper fraction from this mixed fraction, you have to just expand all the parts separately. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Means 11 separate parts of 1/4, which means 11 upon 4. Now I hope you understood all of these. Here I'm giving you activity, so you have to do it in your rough copy. Here some circles have given with shaded parts, and you have to circle the correct fraction for the shaded part of each of the following. And in this activity you have to write the fraction for the following colored portion. So do it in your rough copy as the activity. That's all for today. Thank you.